Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Momma T. Today I'm going to veer a little bit away from my meal cooking and I'm going to cook an apple pie from scratch, homemade. And the apples have already been sliced and I like to slice them about that thin because if you slice them too much thinner, then by the time they get finished cooking, it'll be applesauce inside your pie. We're going to start with our sugar. And I'm using Granny Smith apples, and because I really don't like tart apple pies, I add a good bit of sugar. And we're going to add brown sugar as well to help with the color and the flavor. We add salt and flour because flour gives it the thickness that you need it to have when it thickens up. We add a little bit of lemon juice. It actually adds a really nice flavor to it. And I use apple pie spice, which is a spice that I made myself. And I'll put the ingredients down the bottom. A generous amount. And you just stir everything together. And I also add my butter right here. I have 4 tablespoons of butter. And add the butter. And the flour is a really critical part of an apple pie because without the flour, you end up with a really watery pie. The flour will make it thicken as the pie is cooking. Okay. I see one that's a little on the chunky side, so I can just take it with my spoon. Cut it up. And we're ready to, and this pie, sometimes I make a flat crust. Today I'm going to make a lattice crust. It takes a lot of work, and you want to pile the apples in and let it be piled high because once they cook down, you'll still have a really good pie crust. And I'm lining my pan with parchment paper because the juice it's going to fall out. I will have a lot of juice that falls out. And just make it as high as you can make it. Filling in all holes and all gaps. Okay, so for the lattice crust, you have a flat crust. And I use the refrigerated pie crust. Let it set out until it gets nice and room temperature and soft. And we're just going to lay it. And you only tuck down one end because the other end you're going to use to lift it up. So you don't want the other end, you don't want, let this end be loose. And just lay it together until you cover the whole top of the pie. So we have a whole layer, and I like this layer being a little thicker because it covers more crust. And you can start off with the first one, and you're going to lift every other crust. And then you'll put, and it will fall off like mine just did. You just put it back on. So you put one layer on and bring it all the way over to the end. And then you just close that crust back up. Don't worry about that. Even if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Like I just did. So you just close it back across, and it's easier sometimes to adjust it after you get all the crust on. You can move it down to adjust it like I'm doing. I'll move it down to adjust to cover the empty spaces. And we're going to do that throughout the whole top. As you can see, we just lifted every other one throughout the entire pie. And especially if you're making it for home or for a friend, doesn't have to be perfect. as long as it's all covered. And I just added this one, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this one. And the good thing about dough, when it's soft, if it messes up, then you can just actually just put it back together again with no problem. So we'll take this one, stretch it out, bring it all the way over, and we'll bring that one down, this one, and this one. And we'll just spend a few minutes just making it look fancy and cute around the edge. Everything is done. The pie is ready to go in the oven. And for a beautiful crust, definitely want to do an egg wash. I've cooked it with and without the egg wash. You always want to put an egg wash on crust. It browns so much prettier, and it adds extra crunch, and you do not taste the egg in the pie. It makes a huge difference, especially on apple pies. Now you can do a lot of different crusts with apple pies. Sometimes I'll do a solid crust where I'll just take the entire soft dough, lay it on the top, and then I'll cut a design in the top of it. There are times when I'll get even fancier and use a tool and make these little brick racks around it. But my go-to is always the lattice or the straight crust. And you can top it with a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar to add to it. I'm just going to put just a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. How much? And you'll see most recipes say cook an apple pie on 400 or 425. I cook my apple pie on 375 because with all my pies, the apple and the sweet potato, I tend to cook my pies close to 2 hours. As a matter of fact, I would almost say exactly 2 hours because I like to know that the crust on the bottom is done and that the crust on the top as well as the apples. And if you don't have parchment paper, you can line it, you can use aluminum foil and you can cover the edges. And another good thing about cooking it on 375, oftentimes the edge burns faster. If you cook it on 375, which is a slower pie, you don't have to worry about covering your edge up because most of the time it don't burn. So we're gonna put this on 375. I'm gonna wipe some of this extra cinnamon and egg out. We're gonna cook it on 375 for about 2 hours. Our pie is all complete. You definitely need to let it set for at least 20 minutes because it's really hot on the inside. Thanks again for joining us. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.